So we're going to measure up this car today for new engine loom for the. We're going to measure this car up today for a new engine loom. We've got the old one in here. So this is the 30-year-old engine loom, which runs a standard ECU. So we're going to remake all of this to run our aftermarket ECU. So that runs an M20 2-litre at the moment, with a single throttle body and an airflow meter, which is basically a flap that lets air into the engine as you increase the revs. Pretty restrictive, so we're going to junk all of that out the way. We're going to go with the more modern ECU. We're going to go with the individual throttle bodies. Airflow meter sits over here. You've got a distributor, coil. These are where the plugs sit. So most of that's going to change. We're going to go coil on plug on the ignition side. And then we're going to use E46 electronic throttle actuator for the throttle bodies. So it will be really responsive, and the most interesting thing about that is we can use a sequential gearbox and auto blips to shift with. So it will look like a 30-year-old car, but have some pretty modern technology in it.
Okay, so we've got the E30 on the ramps behind us, progressing quite nicely along with the gearbox side of the build, with a lot of the measurements taken and some of the parts now coming back from being spec'd up to be with us. And now we're very close to mating up the transmission with all the other components to the engine, so we're just going to talk you through them. So obviously the headline with this build, we've got the Holinger SG3 gearbox. So it's a dog change gearbox. It's got 6 forward gears, 1 reverse gear, and a couple of drop gears as well that can be changed to change like the overall ratios of the gearbox. The particular ratios that are chosen for this box were to match the E30's end power output that we're going for, with sort of like the second phase of the build, which is going to be sort of like an engine build. So this particular gearbox, you can have it as a sequential going up and down through the gears with like a shifter, or you can do what we're doing, is you can actually have a pneumatic shift on paddles on the steering wheel. So instead of having like a shift lever, we're going to have some shift paddles, which you can see quite here, which is obviously going to be pretty satisfying to be banging through the gears. As part of speccing the gearbox for this particular vehicle, we've had to do a ton of other modifications, measurements and things like that. So we've got a custom Tilton release bearing, which we'll show in a little bit. We've got a RHD lightweight flywheel for a smaller diameter clutch, which is then mated up to a twin plate tilting clutch, which is obviously spec for this build as well. And then we're having to make some modifications to the prop shaft to mate it to the gearbox, and that will then go to the axle on the back, which is like a wave track limited slip differential. Obviously there's lots of other things that we've had to like measure, custom spec for this particular build to get everything mated up to it, but we're pretty much there. The only other thing we've got to do is just send the proper way to be modified. Once that comes back, we can fit that and we're pretty much ready to go. I'm just waiting for the throttle bodies to come back now.
Here and here. you'd have a sleeve over the top. Wednesday next week.
Then I've got Saturday, Sunday, say Monday to drive.
Unless we just go really short and just go fuck it. We'll get the 5.
start to go off, they move around.
It's the fuel pump wiring, I think.
We lost fuel.
Pretty sure. I think you've lost fuel pressure.
Yeah, go ahead, okay. If you out that black beer.
Right, mate, you're gonna miss the chicane.
Oh fuck! Ah! Oh no, we're on the road. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then please give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to watch other videos of ours that YouTube thinks you'll like, then click up here. If you'd like to watch some other videos that we have in the same playlist, then click here. And obviously, if you enjoyed the video, then we really appreciate if you gave us a subscription. And then obviously you'll be updated when other videos of ours go live, and you can do that quite easily by clicking here. Hope to see you soon.